Hello and welcome to the 21st episode of the Hiatus Review Show. Today we have Choking Victim. It's an episode of Steven Universe where Lars is a dick, Sadie does horrible things, and Steven doesn't understand anything. Let's jump into what I like. So for the first thing I liked in Choking Victim, I like how Fire Salt is set up at the beginning of the episode where it creates the conflict, and the end of the episode where it ends the conflict. It starts the conflict when Steven eats the fire salt, runs to the big donut, drinks a bunch of soda, which causes a lot of it to spill. Lars then slips on the soda, allowing him to fake a severe back injury. And it ends the conflict when Sadie puts it on the donut, Lars eats it, and then he shoots fire everywhere, and then they have their whole making up thing. And I just want to ask, wouldn't the inside of Lars's mouth be completely destroyed and he would never be able to eat ever again? It's a kids show, so they're not going to go into that sort of depth with it, but that'd be kind of fucked up if it happened. Whatever. Point is, I like the way they use fire salt in this episode. Very good. So, for the second thing that I liked in Choking Victim, I liked that how well Lars is painted negatively. We also start to see the signs of Sadie's bad side as well. One example of this is, right after they find Lars is faking his injury and she runs away upset, Steven runs over to her and basically says something about how Lars sucks. Her response is to turn around, and in that half little second, you can see she has her fist raised because she's about to punch Steven in the face. That is beyond messed up. All Steven's trying to do is make you feel better, and he's a dumb kid and doesn't understand, confusing relationships. There's other things too, like how at first she's against it, putting the fire salt on the donut, but eventually she ends up doing it. And I get it, Lars hurt her, she wants to hurt him back, but it's kind of fucked up. She does something way worse than what he did to her. Not that she meant to, of course. It's just we're starting to see the darker side to Sadie, which will come up again later, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. But I liked that. I liked how they started setting up her evil side early on. It's nice. It's a good part of this episode. And for the final thing that I liked in Choking Victim, I like how Steven doesn't seem to understand anything and how real this relationship actually feels, because those ideas both tie into each other. This feels like a very real relationship, like it actually happened in real life, with two people who kind of don't know if they like each other and, act like awful people to each other. It feels real, and to have Steven there not understanding it is funny, also very real as well. Because it's very common for kids to sort of, I don't want to say shit people, but sort of like have an idea of what relationships are, and they have no idea what they actually are. So I do definitely like that part of this episode a lot. Steven's enthusiasm throughout it is really kind of almost infectious, and it's really fun. And it's a great contrast between him and Lars and Sadie with their horrible, awful, no good relationship that they have. They're totally toxic for each other, at least at this point. We'll see where they go with it. But so with all that being said, let's jump into what I don't like about Choking Victim. And for the most surprising thing I will ever say, shockingly, I still can't find anything I don't like in this episode. This is happening a lot. Season 1A in general was pretty well written overall, so there's not much for me to really rag on. And this is a good example of a very well written episode. Feels very real. But we'll save all that stuff for the final verdict, which we're going to do right now. I just love how real this episode feels. Sadie and Lars almost don't feel like cartoon characters. Now, obviously, later on in Steven Universe, everyone doesn't feel like a cartoon character, but at this very moment, at this point in the show, everyone kind of feels like a cartoon character, so to see Lars and Sadie in this way, they seem like people you would meet in real life, because they are. They're real people with real problems. There's no magical fantasy stuff here. There's just two teens with really conflicting feelings, not sure if they like another person, and they act accordingly, like assholes. And Steven also seems real, like a naive kid who's like just really excited because he thinks he knows what's happening and he really doesn't. And it's great. I love it. I love this whole episode. Everything about this episode is amazing. Is it my favorite in 1A? No, it's hard to beat Tiger Millionaire and another episode, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I think you can pretty much figure out what my favorite is in this season. But yeah, I love Choking Victim. It's an underrated episode in this show, definitely. Easily top 3 of what I've seen so far. And that's pretty much it. So let me know what you guys think about Choking Victim. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is it literally worse than Hitler? I can't imagine that's true because this is a TV show, not a world leader. But whatever, you know, people have crazier opinions than that. So I'll see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I enjoyed making it, and I will see you guys next time.